Yeah, I can't lie. I wanted to see a three-way battle for the championship, but it might have not been a three-way battle with how many cars are registered for this finale right now. It might have still been, well, an easy victory for Schaefer if he just ran up in the top 5 all race long. Of course, that's without bonus points being involved as well, but pretty much it's a battle between DJ Honeycutt and Justin LeBlanc, the New Brunswick native. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, absolutely. I don't know if we'll even get yellows in this race. This might be a 100 lap green flag affair. Now, I say that, knock on wood, and legitimately, my desk right here is made of wood, so I don't think that we're gonna stay green the entire way, of course. But with only 11 drivers right now gridding up and qualifying for this race, it might end up being a fairly clean run. Yeah, absolutely. And looking at the qualifying results so far, we've got Mike Hayes, who has a 27.18 flat qualifying time. That's almost 10th faster than Tyler Honeycutt. A few more lap times being laid down right now as George Gallin is coming around the turn 3 and 4 complex. And obviously, I think this is the first lap going for him. So, yeah, 27.18. Well, it just makes it more of a easy to read, easy to understand championship bout. We should talk a little bit about the point system. I'll talk about the bonus points. The race winner, of course, gets 5 bonus points. If you start on the pole, you get those 2 bonus points. Obviously, it's looking like Mike Hayes is going to be the one who gets those 2 bonus points. If you lead 1 lap or more, you get 1. If you led the most laps, you get another bonus point. And here's a really crucial one: no incident points. That's 1 bonus point. So if you make 75 laps throughout the race and you don't have an issue, well, you're going to get 1 more bonus point. That could come into play later.
Qualifying fully set in stone, though. We'll take a rundown of what your championship orders, your starting grid's gonna be looking like as we get set to go racing here for a good 100 laps here tonight for the OTSS Xfinity Series season finale. And started on pole position, it is, of course, as mentioned before, going to be Mike Hayes for Lone Star Racing. For Hypershift Motorsports, Tyler Honeycutt going to be putting his number 3 car up on the front row. Stephen Hayes, a Lone Star teammate, going to be back on road number 2 with Justin LeBlanc, one of the main title contenders, starting alongside him in 4th. Johnny Honeycutt brings up 5th with DJ Honeycutt back in 6th on road number 3. Jonathan Eason is in 7th place on road number 4 with Chad Rowe back in 8th for road number 4. Jimmy Richmond and George Gallin going to be on row number 10, and it is Dwayne Honeycutt, also for Hypershift Motorsports, to be lining it up on 11th, in 11th place on row number 6 as the last car. And very late entry tonight for the likes of Gollin, sitting back in 10th, entering this race in the last 10 minutes of practice here, Dylan.
Yeah, you should be sorry right there. But we got 11 on the grid, only 6 rows deep. 5 of them will be double file. We start that singular pace lap right now. Of course, Phoenix Raceway is not what it used to be in terms of the configuration. That dogleg is going to play a major part. Hey, you might have the entire field just 2 rows back, 5 wide each, pretty much going through that dogleg. But this used to be the turns 3 and 4 section. Now turns 1 and 2. You can really fan out and go underneath the yellow line right here. Of course, turns 3 and 4 is a little bit on the other end with the it's a tri-oval, right? So we've got the start-finish line, the cactus, and the exit of turn 4, immediately setting up for the dogleg. This is going to be a lot of fun, Nolan.
Bound to be a lot of fun here tonight as we get set to go racing for an exciting 100 laps. You're watching the OTSS Xfinity Series finale on Green Flag TV. Green flag up in the air. We're underway. Caution already at the back end of the field as we've got drivers going around to the back of Shot, and that is Gollin hard into the outside wall early here on lap number 1.
Well, Chad Rowe, I would expect he's going to be big time mad with George Gollin because Gollin just did not even apply the brakes. You'll see in the replay right here. I mean, this is kind of a ridiculous start to the race, but how about just send it in deep and hit the rear end? Almost got away with it, though. It's a 2-car incident at the back of the field, and we'll go back under pace laps.
On board one more time here with Gollin as he fired it down into turn number 1, tried to get on the inside of Rowe, just ran over the back bumper, and you mentioned before going around, they're going to collect the outside wall. Reminds me much of that incident we had in the ARCA West race when they came here a few weeks back. But you mentioned correctly, caution flag number 1 out on the speedway. So we'll take a quick jump back and we'll be back in time for the restart.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Avondale, Arizona, and the Phoenix Raceway. If you're just joining us, we're under yellow flag number 1 after George Gollin was taken out, or Chad Rowe, excuse me, was taken out by one George Gollin on the entry to turn number 1 here on the opening lap. And we've just got the lights out signal aboard the RC safety car. It'll be 1 lap to green. Rowe back up on the racetrack, but Gollin back in pit road. So it'll be down to 10 cars. We get set to go back to replay racing for the first, well, I guess the second time tonight here.
Remember I said I don't think we could potentially go 100 laps with a green flag run?
Yes.
You remember that? Yeah, remember that didn't happen within the first corner?
Yes, I do indeed remember that happening. It quite recently, in fact.
Indeed.
And Gollin has rejoined the racetrack. He is laps down, so he'll rejoin the tail of the field. A lot of damage on board with the number 56. So he'll look to try to see if he can get all of that sorted. Meanwhile, we'll come around through turn numbers 3 and 4. Back into the Geico restart zone. Green flag is up. We're back underway. Across start finish line is Hayes to lead the first official lap to green. Stephen Hayes falls in line. Tyler Honeycutt picks up third, LeBlanc in fourth. Crucially though, LeBlanc ahead of DJ Honeycutt, and just there overtook the points lead as Honeycutt falls back to 7th.
All these drivers single file heading back to Jeremy Richmond, fighting for that 7th place spot along with Jonathan Eason, but they cross that start finish line. We are on to lap number 7 of 100. This is pretty much a sprint race, Nolan.
It is very much a sprint race, and I'm thinking we could watch out for Jonathan Eason here to try to play some strategy games even in the sprint race. At New Hampshire, he was one of the few drivers that tried to go out as long as he possibly could and eliminate a pit stop. Everybody else is pitting around lap 50 or so. He stretched that tank out, though, all the way until about lap 90 before he decided to come down and pit. And, of course, once he did that, DJ Honeycutt spun it up into the outside wall over in turn number 4. That was at New Hampshire Motor Speedway just 1 week ago, so it was a strategy that ended up not pulling off, but he did effectively eliminate a whole stop with the strategy that everybody else wanted to take. And, of course, it is a one-stopper tonight. It's only a question of when are you going to take that one?
When are you going to take that one stop? I mean, doesn't it make most sense to do it just around halfway? I mean, I think it would be pushed back a little bit right now because of that early caution we had around a 5-lap stint under the yellow. So I would say maybe around lap 55, 60, cut it almost in half.
That would be, of course, if you're concerned about the tire strategy tonight, right? I mean, that's the big thing. The fuel can easily get you into the 70s for the lap counter. So it's not a fuel thing you're worried about. It's, you know, how much are you going to lose when you get down to the fresher rubber, because you can either pit earlier and have a few, you could make up a lot of time early on an undercut, and then you can, of course, try to rock away from the field and try to go on defensive for the rest of the time. Or you can pit later. You're going to lose quite a bit of time in the early run, but you have a lot fresher tires that you can then reel that gap in. These guys do have 3 tire changes that they can have in the box, so it's not like they're short of options when it comes to taking tires here if we get some more cautions.
Yeah, no, nothing short of tires. It's going to be easy. If they wanted to do, you could almost look at this like almost a road course strategy, right? I just don't foresee it becoming that way where, say again, we have a long stretch of just green flag racing. They just decide to make 2 pit stops instead of 1 and make all that time back on the tire strategy. I mean, we saw something similar happen at Richmond Raceway last year in the spring, almost a year ago, in the NASCAR Cup Series race in the real world, where Denny Hamlin did almost just that, took fresh tires with 35 laps to go and made up a lap and ended up passing the then leader for the win. So it could happen at a track like Phoenix. It's just, I don't know if they want to risk going that off strategy here. I mean, heck, if a yellow comes out, there's not many people that are going to be a lap down, so you might be in a situation where you get to come back around onto the lead lap regardless.
We're looking at LeBlanc and DJ Honeycutt at the moment, the 2 main points contenders. These are the 2 drivers that are going to be putting the most focus on over the course of the night at the 85 and the 15. You can see DJ really throwing it in, trying to see if he can't reel in LeBlanc here. But remember, they enter this race separated by 2. You get 5 bonus points for a win. Other than that, it is 1 spot, 1 point. That's how it works here. So with them being separated by 2, and I don't believe any of them getting bonus points, or at least be even on bonus points, as I believe they both have so far 0 incidents on the day for the both of them. They haven't involved in wrecks, so no reason why they should have lost that 0x bonus as of right now. I believe the way it stands, DJ Honeycutt would still take this title by 1, if I'm doing my math on that correctly.
I think it'll change throughout the course of this race, but yes, I think your math is correct. Pretty much, I mean, what we're looking at is, like you said earlier, win and forget about it, because then you'd be champion. That's it.
And DJ Honeycutt is going to continue to try to send it in on Justin LeBlanc, and you can't blame him for wanting to get around him either, because while as it stands, yes, you're going to be good to go on points. You don't have to worry about it too much. He loses one spot, and all of a sudden, then it's a tie in the points, and you have to worry about countback rules, right? And that's where it gets a little bit more convoluted. So he gets up and by LeBlanc, gets out of sight, out of mind, because at the end of the day, even if he finishes in front of it, doesn't matter where they finish it up. He still gets that title. He's only got to worry about LeBlanc finishing in front of him, which as it stands, that's how it's looking to pan out, as he's started to fall back. Might have burned all his stuff up here too early.
Yeah, but again, this is going to be a long race, and if we have incidents like we had in that first lap, it might not even be a problem. So we shall see what is the case, what happens here.
Over the driver out of Zebulon, North Carolina. You're going to watch that wheel here as he tries to get something going here down the turn number 1 out of the dog leg. And he's pushing up kind of in that second groove, right, where you can see LeBlanc keeping it further down low. I think trying to maybe get a run around the outside to see if he can maybe get something going around the top shelf, but it's not necessarily helping him as it stands at the moment. The good news is he is still pulling away from Jonathan Eason as it stands directly behind him. So he is not at risk of losing up to the 6th spot back here. I think Eason's having to worry more about defense in his own right from Jeremy Richmond, who's right behind him.
Yeah, definitely. You know, this is a really unique style of race, right? And I'm not saying it's worse or better than when you have a full field of cars, but it's more about mind games and trying to think of 1 or 2 cars as your direct competitors in this race, rather than trying to think, okay, how can I pick off 1 spot at a time or multiple spots at a time. You're only worrying about 1, 2, 3 positions in front of you the entire race. So it definitely changes how you think mentally of how you want to run at Phoenix.
See Richmond in that Real Tree Chevrolet, still trying to work from the inside. We look at other battles around the racetrack. I got this one between Chad Rowe and Dwayne Honeycutt. This is for 9th and 10th on the racetrack. They're separated by about 0.3 of a second. And of course, then you got Mike Hayes, who's a 2.5 clear from Stephen Hayes, and Hayes and Tyler Honeycutt in a scrap of their own, trying to see if they can't fight it out for that 2nd position up on the racetrack. But everybody pretty separated as it stands, and I think this is kind of the rhythm we're going to be set to kind of settle into what will no doubt be an incredibly short race, and the lap times here are just going to completely fall away, and we're going to, I think, be in and out of here before we know it.
Yeah, I mean, we're already 20% through this race, and this broadcast started 19 minutes ago. The race didn't start till around 8:10, and we already had a yellow flag caution, so it is pretty wild. Actually, the remaining time on this race, on this this server session, is 1 hour 55 in total, but well, that's the total time. The remaining time is 1 hour 43. So we've only been in the race after gridding for 12 minutes. And by the way, lap times have fallen to almost a second off of what we were seeing in the beginning. The fastest lap for Mike Hayes was a 27.577 set on lap number 8. Well, his previous lap was a 28.572, so literally 5 thousandths off, a second drop off, just around 20 or so laps of racing on these tires.
So as Dwayne Honeycutt got up and by Chad Rowe, and this is how this battle took shape. This was coming on over into the dog leg. Simple case of you cut down, it gives you an easy line down into turn number 1. Rowe tried to pull around the outside, didn't pan out. The 27 secures for that 9th position, so he'll move up 1. We'll continue to track the other points battles we got here elsewhere up on the racetrack as we'll settle things down. I think at this point, wait to see if anything's going to come about pit strategy-wise. You look to Stephen Hayes, right, and we'll compare the lap times when they come back across the start-finish line. It really is one of these races where you can kind of lose some or regain some. You can see overall, it looks like Honeycutt has been I should say Tyler Honeycutt. There's 4 of them in this race, so it can get a bit confusing sometimes. But you got Tyler Honeycutt closing up on Stephen Hayes, and overall, it looks like he is gaining more time. But you take a look at lap 22, right? Almost 0.2 of a second gain. That tells me that Hayes made a pretty big error then on that 22nd.
Look at you with these fancy graphics.
I only wish the one on the right would fully update every once in a while as the one on the bottom did. But hey, I mean, it is really useful to have, as you can easily kind of track, see where everything kind of ebbs and flows, and we can even pull above so we can track it sector by sector. You can even see right there, Honeycutt again closing in by a good half a tenth on just the opening half of this lap. As they come back across the start-finish line, we'll be able to track fully where it's at, and even loses out on a few thousandths of a second on that second portion of the lap as well. Meanwhile, saw a change in the back here. Johnny Honeycutt getting up and by Jonathan Easton for 7th.
One of the on-track passes that we'll have to keep an eye on throughout the rest of this race. You think that Donnie would be fighting hard against DJ if he did come up against him. That's the one thing that's really interesting. We're going to say the last name Honeycutt a lot in this race, as we have all series long, as we have this battle continuing to rage on. 3 Honeycutts in this race tonight. Do you mind explaining all the Honeycutt relations and the family tree and everything?
It's one that took me a little bit of a moment to kind of get used to when I was getting myself acquainted when we first got ourselves introduced with this series just last week, as we just saw DJ Honeycutt get by LeBlanc, which is big in our championship battle. We'll get back to that in just a moment. And this is, of course, I wrote it down. I had to write this down. So you got DJ and Tyler, right? Yes, DJ and Tyler are brothers. So you got DJ Honeycutt up here trying to chase down his brother, Tyler Honeycutt. Now, their dad, Donnie Honeycutt, is running back in 7th. And DJ Tyler's uncle, Dwayne, is all the way back in 9th. So 4 of them, one big family tree. And it's nice to see that racing, at least in the online world, seems to very much run in the family in the Honeycutt.
Indeed.
Realm.
Indeed, you could make a reality show about it. Keeping up with the Honeycutts.
Oh, boy.
Chopping it up with the Honeycutts.
We just saw, speaking of one of the Honeycutts, that was DJ Honeycutt that had gotten by Justin LeBlanc. We talk about how that was big, right? Because the one thing that DJ has got to have on his mind, doesn't matter where I finish, I just got to finish ahead of Justin. When you got a field this small, 3rd place is not able to close up in on you. You only have to worry about Justin LeBlanc. And as long as LeBlanc finishes behind DJ, DJ's got this championship sealed up no matter what happens. They can even both crash out, so long as LeBlanc's the first one out.
I mean, even though, is that even the case with bonus points? Because there are a substantial amount of bonus points you can get in this race. Let's just say incident points come into play where, let's say DJ gets incident points and Justin does not. So if LeBlanc does not get incident points and DJ Honeycutt does, then all of a sudden it's a 1-point game for LeBlanc. It would be minimized by being in front of him. So it's just, it's a point gained, and it would come down to 2 points. I'm going to do, math again. Math in broadcast is never a good thing.
Well, let me help you a little bit here on this one, as we can take 2 bonus points off the table right now. Overall pole position. You get 2 bonus points if you get pole, but that went to Mike Hayes. So that's 2 points that neither of these drivers are able to get. You then get 1 bonus point for leading a lap, 1 for leading the most laps, 1 for no incident points, and of course an extra 5 if you actually win the race. We've caught up. A
little bit dominant, but yeah, right now Mike Hayes is just running away with this thing, but Stephen Hayes is getting passed by Tyler Honeycutt and DJ Honeycutt, and might be getting passed by Justin LeBlanc in a corner or so here.
About 2nd through 6th have all fallen under a blanket as they run down the back straightaway. DJ Honeycutt trying to pull the outside, or the inside, excuse me, of the aid of Stephen Hayes. Take a look at Hayes, who's going to be ripping it up on the top shelf and try to see if he can't continue to establish a move. And he's going to do so fairly nicely here. So it was a good run there for the likes of DJ Honeycutt, who's going to try to get by Hayes. But again, that 8
this might open the door.
Yeah, I mean, he's fighting that hard, and LeBlanc's trying to find some way to get through.
If I'm LeBlanc, I go wherever DJ Honeycutt is not going. So how about, oh, he just got really loose right there. Justin LeBlanc just got really loose, and Jeremy Richmond is right underneath his quarter panel. He's going to dive down into that dog leg, and we might see 3 wide coming into turn number 1.
And there it is, Richmond taking it onto the apron as he tries to make the move on DJ Honeycutt. It's going to go nowhere as he's got no momentum to help him out. He's going to fall right back to where he started, but what an effort from Jeremy Richmond. Now it's LeBlanc to the inside, and he's going for the Hail Mary up the inside of DJ Honeycutt. That'll push him back up to 4th as the 8 of Stephen Hayes clips the outside wall.
I mean, this is some intense battling between these 2 championship contenders, and they've got to deal with the general consensus of everybody else. 4 drivers in grooves number 2, 3, and 4 above the yellow line here, and they are side by side. DJ Honeycutt, Justin LeBlanc, the championship competitors, and LeBlanc almost loses it and almost got into Stephen Hayes.
Look at Richmond all the way down onto the bottom of the racetrack. He's going to get up and behind. He's going to clear the boat. So Jeremy Richmond shoving his way, slide it up, and there's the crossover for LeBlanc. Back down to the inside as we take the back straightaway, and DJ Honeycutt's into the wall. That might eliminate that next bonus points.
Yeah, that bonus point is completely gone. So that's 1 bonus point he's not going to be able to get.
And that means, as it stands right now on the racetrack, they are now tied for the points lead.
Woohoo, boy. And how about this? Justin LeBlanc is just edging ever so slightly ahead of Stephen Hayes, which would give LeBlanc the championship.
Trying to get there. I think he realizes now he's got to go, and he's going to get clear of Stephen Hayes. Now is LeBlanc ahead by 1 for the points championship. And Stephen Hayes is going to fall back to 5th, and DJ Honeycutt can go nowhere. Honeycutt's got some substantial damage on the right front of that race car, and will go on board here with the likes of Stephen Hayes, and we'll be able to kind of angle ourselves here and get a view. You'll be able to look, and right there, about as good as you can get. All that damage on the right front, that's going to be hurting DJ Honeycutt in a huge way.
I mean, we're talking a lot of time that could be lost, and look at this. A move from DJ underneath Stephen Hayes. Stephen Hayes going into the pits. I wonder if this is the start of a 2-stop strategy for him when it comes to tires, because he was just suffering immensely. If he was suffering this badly on a 40-lap, less than 40-lap green flag run, 35 laps, I have no clue how he's going to be able to do 60 laps if it stays green the rest of the way.
Tyler Honeycutt, Jeremy Richmond still side by side for 2nd now as Richmond going to throw it to the inside. Tyler Honeycutt up on top, trying to see if he can't get Richmond back off of turn number 4 or 2. And he will, again, allowing LeBlanc to close in the gap. Holy cow, LeBlanc with the almighty send.
Goodness me, that would have been absolutely detrimental to LeBlanc's championship hopes if there was contact made there. I mean, Tyler Honeycutt was coming in with some real speed there. I gotta wonder, what are the Honeycutts saying to each other?
I have no idea. They got to be talking to each other. You'd imagine so.
Interesting. It's an interesting thought. Usually we would get the audio with a lot of these drivers through the iRacing server, but they're all in their own Discord server, so we really can't hear them as we would typically be able to hear on other iRacing leagues where they're screaming at each other and yelling things that make me want to say, watch your profanity. You know what I'm saying?
I very much do.
Please tell me you know that meme.
I very much do, and I've heard it several times myself when I've been on the commentator end and not the production end of things on the broadcast. I've heard some things that are just thinking, my goodness, this would make for real entertainment if we had radioactive, but I don't know what you. I don't have a tape delay sensor button on hand that I can utilize for that.
You don't? Oh, that would be fun,
though. Funnily enough, an amateur surely me doesn't, as here's another lunge for LeBlanc. He's desperate to
Be
go.
careful.
Remember, he is tied with the points lead, but DJ Honeycutt still wins on count back as it stands, even if they're tied. He still needs that one more spot to secure that points lead.
I mean, and here's another scenario, another question mark that comes into play. Do you sacrifice track position to potentially get a lap led when Mike Hayes goes into pit road?
I think we're going to be seeing some games with that when we get down and around to the pit stop, because you mentioned before, it is one bonus point if you lead the race. But if anybody's going to be trying to make a play like that, it's going to be DJ Honeycutt, because he's lost a bonus point for slapping that outside wall. At least I believe he has. I think you're the one at the session. You can, I think, see if he's lost that one or if he's still got that 0x.
To me, I can't see anybody who has incident points. I've never been able to see
right.
that.
You gotta be a session admin for that.
Exactly. So I do think, I mean, he hit the wall, clearly. So
not that he had damage. I think it's safe to assume he may have lost that point. But for the sake of the
100%.
argument, in the odd chance he does have that bonus point, he still has the points lead by 1. If he doesn't, they're tied, but he wins on countback. Regardless, he needs that bonus point for leading a lap here.
This is true, to almost eliminate any chance. However, you could just argue that Justin LeBlanc could do the exact same thing, and Honeycutt can't do anything about it, because if LeBlanc runs all he can, then Honeycutt, by not doing anything, I mean, there's some mental games that are going to come into play, because track positionally, you're not really worrying about it as much as if you could lose 5-10 spots, even more on pit road in a normal long run kind of race. I mean, there are only 8 cars on the lead lap, and only within 9 seconds of the leader, 6 cars. So this is a potentially interesting thing, as we see pit lane has gotten a little bit active for Jonathan Eason.
Eason down and in for service. He was the one driver that went really long at New Hampshire, but that was when you had to make a 2-stop strategy, at least 2. Some drivers went for 3. Of course, with this shortening of this race, it's turned into a 1-stop race, and Easton decided, well, let's just make it easy. Let's pit it halfway. 50 on one set of tires, 50 on another.
And by the way, Mike Hayes is 1 lap away from completely clinching that 2 bonus points for not just leading the lap, but also leading the most laps. So, I mean, he's sitting on a potential chance to just dominate everything in the points in this race.
Jonathan Eason down and out, 15.5 seconds in the box. No surprise there. He'll hightail it out with less than a minute pit stop. And Mike Hayes has officially led the most laps out of anybody in this race. There's not going to be anybody, unless we go down to green-white checkered, that would have to come out then on this lap. But you'd have to remember, there'd have to be a caution. You'd have to lose the lead this lap, essentially, in order for that to still happen. So Mike Hayes has essentially locked it up for the bonus point for the most laps led. So that's another set of points that we can now take off our calculations.
I will say Jeremy Richmond has cut the lead down by around 0.6 over the last few laps over Mike Hayes. I think Richmond's doing a really good job keeping the tires protected. You see right here, we've got a little bit of a battle between Justin LeBlanc and Tyler Honeycutt. So caution! Oh boy!
It's Eason. He just pitted, and now he's going to bring out the yellow flag. Just like New Hampshire,
totally
caution at the pit stop window.
Totally lost it, but I don't. Yeah, he just totally lost it. Tried to lock up the brakes, and he didn't end up hitting the inside wall. So no damage, except those tires might have just worn down a little bit. That's pretty much the only thing that could happen there. The damage to him is that, well, he just went into the pits and lost a lap from the pits, and now he's lost another lap from that spin. Yeah, just cold tires. Gets around, and he tries to keep it going and almost sent himself into the inside wall on the former front stretch, the now back stretch as they call it. But I mean, this is a simple part of the equation here. We all know who's going to be going in the pits, who's not. That takes away any strategy we were talking about of staying out, trying to lead that lap, unless any of these drivers decide to stay out another lap.
So far, nobody that was on the lead lap has opted to stay out for an extra one. So
it might have been smart.
We got
lose track. I'm sorry for cutting you off, but what if you lost track position now? You would be only sent back to 7th place coming in out of the pits if you waited a lap and led a lap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can understand what you're saying on that. We'll have to see where everything's going to shake up once these guys leave pit road, remember. It's going to be a race between DJ Honeycutt and Justin LeBlanc to get out pit road, and LeBlanc going to get him on the exit. So Justin LeBlanc maintains track position ahead of DJ Honeycutt, who will be restarting this race in 5th.
I'm just saying, I think that DJ Honeycutt, who was in 6th out of 7 cars on the lead lap, just made a mistake there. I think he could have played the competition, stayed out under that yellow, and led a lap, and then come back into the pits.
The
when
issue,
the lap cars would go in.
But the issue is you have to remember the penalty, right? It's not an end of the long line penalty anymore. It's a drive-through. So if he plays that strategy, he could potentially be absolutely demolished on a green flag run.
Would the pits have been closed if
you don't pit on the first lap, they close.
Interesting. Okay. Well,
yeah,
then I'm just an idiot.
Yeah, that's the way. It's a bit of an interesting rule on that, and a lot of people get it confused. So don't worry, you're far from the first person that has got this wrong. I've gotten it wrong plenty of times, and I do race control freely, so I think that kind of says a thing or two. But the way the rule works, if you pit on the first lap that you're able to, which is the first lap pit road is open, and then it closes. If you go down after that, if you've already come down once, then it's just another longest line penalty. Because that's assuming you're going into, get damage repaired, top of fuel, whatever, what have you. If you then wait and go in after pit road is closed, but you haven't gone down before, that's when it gets you with the drive-through penalty. Because it is I think it's designed to specifically prevent people from exploiting that loophole.
Well, that was the loophole that I was trying to exploit right there. Hey, it wasn't dumb.
Well, there you go.
By me. I just didn't know that was the penalty that iRacing has implemented now.
I don't blame you because it is a different rule depending on when you come down to pit road. Like, I think that's the big thing. If you've come down once before, then it's a no harm, no foul, end of the longest line. It's only if you don't come in first when you're supposed to, and then you wait. That's when it really hits you.
We're going back to green flag race on this lap, bud.
We really are. Stephen Hayes gets the wave around. He'll stay on the lead lap, but only just. Dwayne Honeycutt has managed to stay on the lead lap. Easton, though, will be a lap down along with Dahl in a row.
Yeah, Easton needs another yellow because he's the only driver a lap down right now. He'd get the lucky dog.
The way it stands, LeBlanc still going to be in a tie for the points lead, if we're doing our math on this correct.
And then losing.
On countback.
It's going to be a 40-lap dash, bud.
That's at least our assumption. Going to come the green flag racing this time by into the Geico restart zone. It'll be up to the 99. Who's going to jump on the loud pedal and put us back underway?
Oh, horrible start right there for DJ Honeycutt, but he's going to try and cut through the dogleg to get some momentum going. LeBlanc in 4th right now, trying to get some momentum on the outside. He straightened it out a little bit through 1 and 2. He's going to have potentially 3rd place by the end of corners number 3 and 4.
Going to go for the lunge here
around. Honeycutt.
For the outside, and Tyler Honeycutt up to the inside, trying to keep LeBlanc at bay, and might even trying to back him up into DJ Honeycutt here.
Yeah, DJ Honeycutt looking down the inside right now of Justin LeBlanc on that second groove. Comes down to around groove 1.5, if you will. Now down the backstretch, a few car lengths back of Justin LeBlanc. And oh boy, LeBlanc went in way too deep. He's going to have to try and diamond that apex right there and get moving again. But, oh boy, this is intense. I mean, DJ Honeycutt, what we assume has the championship right now on countback. And,
well,
Michael Hayes,
maybe he doesn't. I've done some looking at the stats. It's going to depend on which one they do countback for. If they go top 10s to top 5s to wins, then it's DJ. But if they go by wins first, then LeBlanc would win it on countback because he's got one win this season. DJ
wins,
doesn't.
Though? When would it ever have? I've never heard a series do top 10 as the first tiebreaker.
I wouldn't know. I've heard of something doing it. Mike Hayes taking the fast lap of the race this last time by, 27.52 to the inside of Tyler Honeycutt, jumping up to second up the inside of Jeremy Richmond. I'm going to see if I can't get some clarification on the tiebreaker rules if we get another yellow flag here, or if we can at least as soon as possible post-race, assuming that is going to come down to a tiebreaker, which we're still obviously not sure if that's going to end up being the case.
By the way, Mike Hayes right now might get, based on the way he's been running, if he wins this race, he might get 53 total points from this one race alone. Race win +5, so that would go from 43 to 48. Start on the pole, +2 to 50. Led a lap, 51. Led the most laps, 52. And no incidents would be 53. That's max points you can get from any one race.
It really is kind of incredible just how many points you can try to reel in on bonus points alone, right? I mean, it shows just how important they are to put together an overall good race when you can essentially get almost 20% worth of the points that you would get otherwise had you not had any bonus points whatsoever. And that can make a huge difference in championships.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll definitely try to get some clarification on the tiebreaker. I would be absolutely shocked and honestly disappointed if it was not wins first, because besides points, wins are the most important thing in any series.
They might even just go down and do whoever finishes higher in this race, because I've also heard of that being a very, very much a possibility. Not
a championship race, though. It's just the end of the season. I know you're saying the possibilities. I just know I would be very upset if I was a fan to know that it wasn't. The tiebreaker was based off of something like that instead of wins.
Well, obviously, wait and see what the ruling is going to be on all.
We don't see it in the rules, by the way. That's the other thing. The written rules do not have the tiebreaker in that.
And I think that's kind of the big thing, right? I mean, it could very much be one of those situations you kind of have to figure out on the fly what you're going to do with that. And believe it or not, we've actually had, I even know of a situation. We had this one incident in a league that I still help run to this day. We had to penalize somebody because what this person, and I'm not going to name names obviously, what this person did was they manipulated the running order under caution to get some stage points. And a stage win, as a matter of fact. So we docked this individual 20 points. But when we did, we realized that put him on tie with somebody that was just on the outside on the bump spot looking in. So we figured, well, who gets this point now? So we can only allow one of them in. So it came down to a situation, do we let this guy stay because he was ahead of points entering this race anyway, or do we let the other guy in because the only reason why they were tied for points was because the one that got bumped down was penalized, and it was one of the situations we ended up letting them both in because we had no ruling for it. Obviously can't do it at the championship, but it goes to show that sometimes you got to kind of think on your feet.
Yeah, but it also shows the importance of getting everything that a league could potentially have to deal with into writing. I mean, that's why it's not a bad idea to almost use templates from other series to try and adapt it for yours.
There's a general rule of thumb when it comes to motorsports, and this is for the virtual and the real world alike. Whatever you think might not happen, no matter how unlikely it is,
it's going to happen.
The forces of nature will find a way to make that happen. And a perfect example, drag racing. You can't drag us in the rain, straight up, right? It's an impossibility. So what if I were to tell you that we had a monsoon-style rain cloud over literally only the track property and absolutely nowhere else where it was clear skies?
Oh, no.
It rained for 10 minutes and we had to cancel because the track was demolished. Like, it was gone.
That's brutal.
And
that is brutal.
Lo and behold, the second we called the race off, oh, look at that, the sun comes out. I'm not making this up. Like,
how it goes sometimes, man.
Whenever you say, oh, this isn't going to happen, it is 100% going to happen. It's going to usually happen in the most ridiculous way physically possible.
So, I mean, for anyone watching, the reason we are talking about this with such scrutiny is because of this championship battle between Justin LeBlanc and DJ Honeycutt, who were both second and third coming into tonight, but the points leader, who was only up 8 points, missed last race and is missing this race. So, point leader in name only for right now. It's going to be either LeBlanc or DJ Honeycutt. And DJ Honeycutt has a 2-point advantage right now and has 1 win while LeBlanc has 0. So what we're talking about right now is pretty much with the way that these bonus points potentially could work out. I mean, it's 1 point per position that you get, just like what happens in NASCAR, right? 43 points is the what you get for a win plus the bonus point, everything like that. 42 for second, 41 for third. Right now, Justin LeBlanc is getting 40 points plus a bonus point for, as of right now, 0 incident points. DJ Honeycutt would get 39 points, but no bonus points. So that's a 2-point gain for Justin LeBlanc, which means that they'd be tied in the standings based off of what we think DJ Honeycutt has, which is 1 incident point, which, well, that's automatically your bonus points gone right there. So what we're looking at is a virtual tie in the standings, and we don't know the tiebreaker. And that's the most important thing we need to know.
I have also been given the assurance before this race they are going to update these points almost immediately following the checker flag.
Great.
So we will be able to make that official call before the end of tonight's broadcast. But it's stressful, right? I mean,
it is for everyone.
And, yeah, for us, for them, for the drivers, the league admins, everybody. I mean, it's one of the situations you wonder how did we enter this type of scenario, and how are we supposed to handle this? And I think at the moment, LeBlanc is just thinking go, go, go. Because I think that's the big thing. If LeBlanc is one more spot, all of a sudden this whole tiebreaker discussion, it's out the window. But he hasn't been making these moves. He's been sitting behind Jim Richmond for third, I think waiting for him and Tyler Honeycutt to take each other out in the fight for second.
Well, the other thing is we still don't know. I mean, we have a 99% assumption that I think is correct, that DJ Honeycutt has some incident points from that hit with the wall, which would mean that bonus point kind of expires, right? Like you start the race with the bonus point, and if you get an incident point, you end the race without that potential bonus point. This battle going on right in front of LeBlanc between Tyler Honeycutt and Jeremy Richmond is making DJ Honeycutt able to stay with LeBlanc. I mean, I don't know if LeBlanc is making that move in a dangerous way. Oh, he makes contact.
Oh!
That is it for that bonus point, and the yellow comes out. It just threw everything into confusion and craziness.
So now they both don't have the 0x bonus point, and I think that means DJ Honeycutt just been pushed back into the points lead by 1, because they were separated by 2 going in. And everybody's pitting.
Oh, boy.
Man, oh, man. LeBlanc got greedy. He got too greedy there. Too impatient, waiting for these guys to make a mistake, trying to go for a move. And we just saw the consequences of that. Dwayne Honeycutt, by the way, staying out. He's going to pick up the race lead.
Wow.
I think we're both kind of lost for words.
Yeah, that completely changes the game. So we both assume that they both don't get that bonus point. I mean, right?
That's
there's
the
nothing
general
there.
consensus here, unless something's happened elsewhere. DJ Honeycutt trying to see if he can again jump LeBlanc on the exit. He's not going to be able to, though. LeBlanc getting out in front of Honeycutt, which is again crucial. And now Dwayne Honeycutt is down to pit road.
So obviously, what we're seeing with Dwayne Honeycutt, he's going to get that end of line penalty, right?
At least. It's going to be at least an end-of-the-line penalty.
If not just a drive-through in the race, too.
Yes. We'll see. If he fits on the first lap here coming to green, we'll know what the ruling is on that one.
So what we're assuming right now, for everybody watching, is that both of these drivers are now, I mean, we're seeing the replay right now. It was just a brash move. It was just not a good move right there. Obviously, both of these drivers they have incident points, we think. So now for LeBlanc, not only did he have to gain that one position that he unfortunately messed up at, oh my goodness, he's going to have to gain You know what he's gonna have to do if DJ stays in fourth. LeBlanc's gonna need to win.
Oh boy. And I don't think.
What do you think?
Well, I don't think that's going to be an easy task, right? Because I mean, you've got Mike Hayes, who's been just running away with this entire race.
I mean, what we are thinking right now, and if DJ Honeycutt has a third, it finishes. Oh my goodness, I don't know. This is insane. This is insane. It's the bonus points that really throw things off for going into the lead, but this is going to be a 19-lap dash for the championship.
You mentioned when Wayne Green on the last caution that Jonathan Eason was needing the yellow flag because he, of course, spun on full tires out of pit road. And, yeah, he's back on the lead lap, so he's back up to 9th and now can fight with the leaders. So that's another factor to add to the mix. You now have another driver that's going to be able to go out and fight with this thing.
Oh, boy. Hang on to your hats. This is going to be wild.
It'll be, as mentioned, 19 laps. Mike Hayes going to be the leader. LeBlanc and DJ Honeycutt, the two drivers fighting for a points championship, starting side by side on row number 2. Green flag going to come up in the air as the 99 car takes us back to green.
Very solid jump for DJ Honeycutt right there. Might be 3 wide heading into turn 1.
And for the inside, that was Donnie Honeycutt trying to play some spoiler. I tell you what, LeBlanc has got to be scared. He's got all 4 behind him.
3 wide. DJ Honeycutt down the inside, pulls out of it. Justin LeBlanc now 2 positions up. We're in a tie right now. This is insane.
We're in a tie right now, but remember here, DJ Honeycutt, he's got a whole lot of Honeycutts right behind him, and they're all part of the family. So I'm willing to bet here that with none of those other Honeycutts in for the fight, they'd be more than happy to pull aside and give him the momentum he needs to try to take this title.
Oh, the 98 and the 22 of Jeremy Richmond and Donnie Honeycutt just shared some contact right in behind. Hey, you only need 9 cars on the lead lap to make this an interesting one.
I love leagues that can have a small grid, but they can still put on one heck of a show, and that's what we've been seeing here tonight. And the 22
DJ's falling back.
Sorry?
DJ Honeycutt has fallen way back.
No kidding.
He's 3 positions behind LeBlanc. LeBlanc is the championship leader as the second.
And this time he's got Stephen Hayes in front of him. Now, unlike Tyler Honeycutt, Hayes isn't going to be so willing to move aside for the 15 here.
And Tyler Honeycutt, all he can, I mean, obviously you don't want to get into race manipulation. Isn't that the rule 100% at all times? It's not like Formula One where you have sometimes team orders. But what Honeycutt's thinking is, I got to get by LeBlanc for DJ.
And he's also got Donnie Honeycutt still pushing from behind as well. As you saw the 22 go way deep, and now he's going to cut to the dog leg, so they're still fighting each other as well here. Donnie Honeycutt trying to skirt to the inside here of the 15, and the Larson line for DJ Honeycutt way up top entering 1. Diamonds it off of 2, tries to get the run set up on Stephen Hayes.
And if he can get by Stephen Hayes, he puts it in deep. Look at this. Oh my goodness, Donnie Honeycutt almost took out DJ.
Somebody needs to get Vin Diesel in here and speak a little bit about family. Because my goodness.
Talk about family.
Donnie Honeycutt again for the inside, trying to make a move on DJ. And I'll tell you right now, DJ Honeycutt, I don't think he's going to be too happy of a camper with how this is panning out. He's running out of time and quick, as it is 13 laps to go at the line.
Tyler Honeycutt trying all he can do to get by Justin LeBlanc as well. Look at this. Donnie goes underneath DJ. Hey, you can't fault him for trying. He's trying to make up positions for himself. He's underneath DJ right now, and DJ is going to fight back. You saw Jeremy Richmond coming up high and then coming down low with that diamond. I mean, Jeremy Richmond's a fast car too, so this is intense. And by the way, Justin LeBlanc has not let Mike Hayes get too far away. Only 0.6 up as we speak.
You want to know what's best about Donnie Honeycutt fighting DJ here? It's not even for a points battle. He's got 18 points in the next car in front and 22 to the car behind. He gains absolutely nothing but pride
He's
by
gonna be
going
in
after
fourth.
that last top 5.
Well, actually, you might be fighting with Eric Schaefer for third.
Oh, that's right. Completely forgot about Schaefer, who's a no-show.
It's actually, I think he'll be fine. I'm trying to do the math here. Oh God, scary, right? Donnie Honeycutt right now, 417 points coming in this one. The difference is 28 points between he and Schaefer. Let's just say.
There it is.
So.
Donnie
Oh
Honeycutt.
goodness.
The base track boats at Cabela's 22 to the inside. This time, I think you might have him.
No, but look at the push. Oh my goodness.
Oh my
Jeremy Richmond just bumped DJ Honeycutt, and is going to try and go for the 2-for-1 special here.
10 laps to go, and a block down onto the apron for the 22 and the 98 of Richmond. 3 wide down to turn 1, and how about the Hail Mary from Jeremy Richmond to the inside? A slider for Donnie on DJ. DJ Honeycutt shooting the middle here.
He's going to lose another position, though. Donnie's in front of him. 2 points to the good LeBlanc.
This is not looking good for DJ Honeycutt as Richmond going to push the 15 almost up and into the outside wall. And this is with less than 10 to go. Now it's DJ Honeycutt that's needing the caution.
So I believe Schaefer is definitely going to go down to 4th, but I don't think he is going to lose the spot to Tyler Honeycutt. Eric Schaefer, I think, officially will be in 4th place by the time that this season ends. After leading a lot of the way, misses the last 2 races. That's all it took to lose this championship. If he just started one more race, he would have had it.
I don't think I've ever seen a small grid like this have such a tight
So
points battle
racy.
in my life. I mean, the points battle, it's been flip-flopping back and forth all night long. I can't, do you ever see this in, really big grid fields that don't have a playoff system? No, you don't. You have one guy that usually runs away with it all the time, but not tonight.
This is awesome. This is some great racing.
Jamie Richmond using every last scrap of asphalt that he has the right to do so. He'll take away 5th. And in the background, Jonathan Easton and DJ Honeycutt gonna again trade hands as Honeycutt falls back to 8th. It's fallen apart for the 15.
I mean, it's a 6-point difference right now. That's a 4-point gain. I mean, it's a 6-point gain, a 4-point swing. LeBlanc up 4 points for the championship. This is, bearing a yellow, this is over.
5 laps
Honeycutt,
to go. With how hard these guys are fighting, the possibility is still there for that late race yellow.
And LeBlanc is, that's the last thing he wants to see, because right now, he's a 2.5 above Tyler Honeycutt for 3rd. He's got no competition around. I mean, if you're DJ, who is up in the wall.
Oh boy.
Yeah, DJ's up in the wall. He's trying everything he can.
At the moment, and he loses out to Dwayne.
He needs He needs Donnie to start a wreck right now.
We're not out of the woods yet until that white flag falls, and at this point, it might even come from Eason and Hayes here, who are at a scrap of their own further down the field. It's the 4-car lunging for the inside. Jonathan Eason going to pick up 6th from Stephen Hayes, as meanwhile, that was Donnie Honeycutt that got up, and I think may have actually scraped the outside wall as well. This will come down to 3 to go this time by.
Dwayne Honeycutt just got by DJ.
Oh, has he?
Oh, yeah.
That's one more spot that he'll potentially lose. I think that is the nail of the coffin. It's no question now LeBlanc will be the champion, as it is. Oh, hello. Eason up into the outside wall in 2.
If a yellow does come out on this coming lap, because it's the penultimate lap that Mike Hayes is going right now, then of course, if you're DJ, you go into the pits, you have nothing to lose to gain every spot you can for 4 fresh tires.
will come down to the white flag. This time through, Mike Hayes clear by 1.7 seconds. He'll come around 3 and 4 and pick up the white flag. This race official at the line. And this is going to be down to the wire as it stands, as Mike Hayes will lead the field through turn numbers 1 and 2. LeBlanc has no competition. You just got to drive that thing nice and easy, and he's going to be smooth sailing here tonight. For the 99 car, down the back straightaway, he has dominated the race in Avondale. He will win the final race of the season here in Phoenix, but it'll be Justin LeBlanc off of turn number 4, the 85 car, your inaugural OTSS Xfinity Series champion.
DJ Honeycutt finishes 9th, the final car on the lead lap.
What a ride that we had here today, and for Justin LeBlanc, cannot give congratulations enough. He had to work for that win tonight, and he absolutely took that one in style. He did everything he had to do and comes home a very deserving, I think it's worth noting, champion here tonight, as it falls apart for DJ Honeycutt in the end run of things. It'll be a burn down on the front straightaway for the number 99 of Mike Hayes, and we will go to your official post-race results here tonight from virtual Avondale here at the Phoenix Raceway. It is going to be race victory for Mike Hayes and a championship for Justin LeBlanc, so Lone Star Racing will leave here to a very happy team. Tyler Honeycutt will be picking it up in 3rd with Jimmy Richmond back in 4th. Johnny Honeycutt rounds out the top 5 in the top half of the field. Jonathan Deason back in 6th with Steve Hayes in 7th. Dwayne Honeycutt 8th. DJ Honeycutt was 9th and the last driver on the lead lap. George Gollin and Chad Rowe finished this race 3 and 4 laps down. My goodness, what a ride it was here tonight, and absolutely insane.
Yeah, that was some great racing. Goodness me. Look at this burn down. They're going to go Denny Hamlin, Alex Bowman style right here.
Very thorough congratulations for these two, and it's understandable why they're going to be burning it down the way they are, as they're able to take up a well-earned race win here in this one. We'll get the chance to talk to your top 3 in just a moment while the point standings get fully finalized here. And, of course, it'll be an amazing run for everybody here involved in the race tonight. And we'll start things off then. We'll start from the bottom, I guess, and we'll work our way up. We'll start with Tyler Honeycutt. He's the first one to join us, so we'll give a chat here to the number 3 car. Join us up here at the broadcast booth. Tyler, you finished this race up on the podium. Congratulations for you and the Hypershift boys.
Thank you, sir. It was a fun race, and with only 11 people, I bet it was fun to watch.
It was a fun race to watch indeed for us here in this one, but my goodness, I mean, what a race we had here in this one. It was, shall we say, entertaining throughout the duration of this run, and I think it's safe to say that it's been a hard race for you guys as well. It was short from 200 laps to 100. What was it like for you having to work your way through a bit of a shorter race this time around than the last week?
Man, I like these shorter races. It's less chances for me to screw up. I was able to stay top 3 for pretty much the whole race. I put it on the front row for qualifying, and I was just lucky to hold off all the guys charging behind me. So I just took the top lane away from them, and that was pretty much it. It was hard. I'll tell you that, it was hard.
You're going to be finishing this race fairly far up in the point standings. Obviously, you were 5th entering tonight, and with this, you're going to be even further up as it stands. Why don't you walk us through then what it was like for you to be able to kind of come down here with this amazing win?
I think this was my first top 3 of the season. It's been a up and down season. I started off the season, pretty hot. I had a couple top 5s, but then I just couldn't. I just kept having bad luck. Stupid mistakes, mental mistakes. So it was nice to end the first season off with a bang, and I can't wait to start the second season.
And what do you get set to look for as we get set to enter the second season here in just a couple of weeks' time for the number 3 GameStop Supra?
I'm just looking forward to more consistent runs. I know that I have, the talent, the skill, and the speed to run top five consistently, but I always sometimes just make stupid mental mistakes, like I said. But if I can just run more consistent, with my brother and Mike and Justin, all of them guys, I think I could pull off more top threes like this.
And before we let you go, then here, Tyler, anybody you'd like to shout out for that number 3 car as we get set to close out a season here?
I like to shout out everybody that participated this season. Me and my brother, started this league. This is our first season. Shout out all the guys at Hypershift, my dad, my uncle, Mike for a dominating race. I mean, he walked the dog on us there. I think Justin might have pulled the championship out with that. So if he did, good job to him. If he didn't, good job to my brother, obviously. But yeah, to after I think we're taking this week off. But the Thursday after that, we will be doing more Xfinity night races, and we're also opening up trucks on Tuesday night. I don't think those are broadcasted, but people, I think we might post them on YouTube for people to look at. So I appreciate you guys broadcasting. And, shout out to you guys. You guys do a really good job. I appreciate it.
And thank you to Tyler Honeycutt for joining us up here tonight after what was an amazing third place for him and the rest of the grouping here tonight. We'll move things on down and we'll bring it up for one Michael Hayes. He was the race winner tonight. And Dylan, you're going to be standing by with the race winner. We'll save the best for last.
An absolute dominant performance for Michael Hayes. Gotta know, do you like Phoenix or do you love Phoenix?
I like Phoenix. I don't love Phoenix, but the track loves me, so I guess it is what it is.
That's very fair. Do you feel like you were ever under threat from anybody at any point tonight?
Not really. I mean, I was able to jump off the restarts really well. I was able to get going on a short run, and then I was also to maintain speed on a long run. Don't ask me how. I just kind of got into a rhythm and stuck with it, and ended up working out.
Do you feel like if you did have a few more starts this season, you maybe could be one of the drivers contending for the championship at the end?
Mm, I mean, maybe, but I don't know. There's a lot of really good drivers in here, so it would definitely be tough. But I mean, I might have, I guess,
All
chance.
right. Well, congratulations on the dominant win and best of luck in the coming season.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Not a problem. Nolan, back to you.
That's Michael Hayes, race winner tonight of the Monster Energy number 99 car, and that's going to move it on down to the man of the hour, Justin LeBlanc, joins us up here tonight, and what a nail biter of a championship for you, Justin. You come around here with the championship at the end of the night. How's it feel to be finally walking away here secure on the points?
Yeah, it feels good. I wasn't too sure about the points there. We're looking at the numbers, us and me and the team, and didn't look like I had the championship. But yeah, hopefully it adds up.
It's going on with some behind-the-scenes work on that one. We have been told it is official. You are our inaugural champion here tonight, so you can rest easy knowing that Fox number 85 is going to be able to be a defending champion coming into season 2. Obviously, we come into this race, and we only came on board here for the last 2 races of the season. Why don't you sum up the season as a whole for us so far and kind of walk us through what that title fight was like?
Oh man, thanks a lot, guys. No, it definitely wasn't easy. I mean, these guys week in, week out, it's top-notch guys. I mean, we're racing against the best guys here. Everybody's fighting for the win. So to come up top with the championship, I mean, that's just amazing.
And of course, we look forward to season number 2. Do you look to potentially come back here and defend that title here?
Yeah, definitely. My if I can make time with my busy schedule, and this is definitely a league that's fun to race. I mean, these guys are good racers. Every week it's fun to race here. We've been battling hard all week, all year. So no, I'm glad that you guys are on board too. So yeah, next year hopefully I can hop on and defend that championship.
Well, hopefully we'll be able to see you out here and going for another title defense here in that number 85 machine. Justin, it's been a pleasure to be able to talk to you once again, and hopefully it'll be the start of many more things to come for you in the OTSS Xfinity Series.
Yeah, thanks a lot, guys. Yeah, I'd like to take a shout out to everybody at Lone Star. The team's really a good bunch of guys. We've been having fun these past couple months, and DJ's a hell of a competitor. Good job on second place, and all the honeycuts too. They race. Every week it's fun racing with those guys. So yeah, thanks.
That was Justin LeBlanc, your inaugural champion here at the end of the night. Join us up here from second place on the podium. But Dylan, it is a championship for Justin LeBlanc, the New Brunswick native, and it is by 4 points over DJ Honeycutt.
Absolutely. And by the way, you want to hear something interesting? Thank goodness it didn't come down to 1 or 2 points, because DJ Honeycutt did get a bonus point for no instance.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah. So, of course, Justin LeBlanc did not get a single bonus point. So he ends the race with just the 42 points from coming in second, while DJ Honeycutt got 36 points, which I'm also curious about how it's only a 4-point lead over DJ for Justin, because based on the points in this race, it should have been a 6-point swing. Yeah, it makes sense then. 4 points. Okay. That makes sense. Just trying to work out everything. That bonus point could have come into play, and we had no idea until just a few moments ago.
Holy cow. I mean, what a way to end out the season. I mean, this has just been an absolute barn burner of a show for us here tonight. And we obviously are going to be we believe it's going to be a 1-week break before we return for the OTSS Xfinity Series. We're not sure if we're going to be broadcast with them just yet, but I certainly hope we will, because for a small grid, they're able to put on one exciting show that I would say there are a lot of other big-name leagues up there with giant grids that they could only hope for something this exciting.
Yeah, and that was the really awesome point about this race. You don't usually see small fields compete with each other so long, but can I just say, thank goodness they put it to a 100-lap race, because I think that is the perfect length. I think a dash race for a series of that size, where everything becomes so exemplified, everything's so amplified, I should say. Each move, each wreck, each pit stop, everything matters so much more, and because it's a small field, it kind of worked out.
It is going to no doubt be a championship that has big things ahead of it, and it's going to continue to be a championship that hopefully will keep on giving as we will get set to go racing for more in the future. But for now, it is time to close, and what a night it has been here from virtual Avondale, Arizona, over in the desert, where we have just crowned ourselves a champion for the opening season of the Off Throttle Sim Series Xfinity Series Championship. From us here at Green Flag TV, it's time to say farewell. My name is Lorenzo, with Dylan Coyle alongside me in the broadcast booth. Thank you for tuning in to Green Flag TV for the brief time we've had here with the OTSS Xfinity Series. We'll hopefully be back with more in just a couple of weeks. Be sure to tune in on Saturday at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the VRX Pimax World Cup as they get set to do battle over at Alabama at the biggest, baddest track on the NASCAR circuit to crown a champion over there as well. That and more coming up right here on Green Flag TV.